Hello everybody, welcome back to INSANEBRIT Gaming. I am INSANEBRIT and this is this week's News Friday, where I talk about all the week's gaming news, gaming topics, some anime news if I find it as well. So this week's big story is Sony PlayStation will skip E3 2019. For the first time in 24 years, Sony and PlayStation will not appear at E3 in 2019. As reported by Game Informer, Sony and PlayStation will instead explore new and familiar ways to engage in our community in 2019. New and familiar ways. I mean, even if they go with a route where they do a special live stream just on PlayStation or something like that, they're going to miss out all the casual people that are there for other events and Xbox gamers to say, this is what we got. Bring it kind of thing, you know, you can come over to us kind of thing. So it doesn't make sense there in that respect, but who knows? That's what they're saying. As the industry evolves, Sony Interactive Entertainment continues to look for inventive opportunities to engage with the community. Sony said in a statement to Game Informer, PlayStation fans mean the world to us, and we always want to innovate, think differently, and experiment with new ways to delight gamers. As a result, we have decided not to participate in E3 2019. We're exploring new and familiar ways to engage our community in 2019 and can't wait to share our plans with you. So there are plans there and various things they've got going on behind the scenes, but they're not letting you know just yet. Okay. Sony was then asked if they would be having an off-site event similar to how EA and Xbox have been handling E3 the past couple of years, which is interesting in itself. PlayStation Senior Vice President of Communications, Jennifer Clark, answered, "We will not activate or hold a press conference around E3. In regards to Sony's decision not to host the PlayStation Experience this year, and if it would return next year, which I assume it will," Clark responded by saying, "Sony is looking at events as a whole and how we speak more to our fans and continue to wow them." Okay, so basically it seems to be a marketing strategy where they're going to skip events and decide what they're going to do for what event is, you know what I mean, the bigger one for them or whatever. And now, I'll be honest with you, E3 is the biggest one, at least that's what I always watch per se. They've got PSX as well. It says here, the timing for PSX and E3 didn't allow for that, but lots of exciting things to come, and we hope to share shortly some of our biggest games. We'll have key milestones next year, so we will work hard to blow those up. The Entertainment Software Association, U.S.A, has been running E3 since the beginning of 1995, and its press release regarding 2019 said there's no acknowledgement of Sony or PlayStation skipping 2019, but there is no mention of them as a confirmed partner. So basically they are going to skip it out, whatever. So they're re-strategizing where they're going to showcase their games or whatever else. However, this kind of excites me and it kind of annoys me, but I kind of understand as well. So it's two of the same. So it excites me because it kind of makes me feel like, oh, we've got the PlayStation 5 in 2020. We'll skip 2019, and then it'll be, Sony's not there, where's Sony, why ain't Sony here, maybe they got nothing. But of course, over that pulse of a year, they're going to be having Death Stranding come out, we're going to have The Last of Us 2, and God knows what other games are going to be coming out at that particular point in time. For the past two E3s, I won't even lie, we've heard constant stuff about the zombie game coming out, we've had Death Stranding, and it's kind of getting boring, keep hearing about these same games that are supposed to be coming out and haven't hit the market yet, and it's kind of frustrating. And it's already near Christmas time, and there's no real release dates for that in respect. It is a packed couple of months anyway with Black Ops, Battlefield, you know, and Red Dead Redemption, and probably, you know, and Assassin's Creed I think has just come out as well in recent week or 1 or 2 months. So it's like a packed couple of months. So 2018 is done, and 2019 is where all these games are going to start pouring in. So they're not going to release anything. They've got that major to say in 2019. It's just going to be a repeat process, and they're probably tired of doing that, which kind of makes sense. If they have got anything coming up, it's just something new, and it could be knocked out in the year beginning up to the build-up of 2020 for the PlayStation 4. But then on 2020, at that Christmas, they're going to have the PlayStation 5 and everything else. That's what I'm thinking is going to happen. They return to E3 in 2020 in a blaze of glory. We're back. Here's the PS5, and try to knock them out the water. Now, that would be a cool concept. I don't mind that. If they skip something this year, then come back next year and it's bigger, better, new product. That's kind of badass. You know what I mean? I like that. Which coincides with my next somewhat article. Because this is a little bit more information about, because we heard that from Xbox as well, but this kind of coincides. So apparently Square Enix begins works on a AAA title for the PS5. Square Enix Luminous Productions is apparently working on an unannounced new AAA title, sorry, for the PS5, as spotted by a recent error user Notify or whatever. Has since removed LinkedIn profile for a 3D character model lead artist Tomoro Tarakaru, included the next generation game as part of work at the studio alongside a new mobile title for China, has now cancelled DLC for Final Fantasy. Luminous basically is a new studio at Square Enix, originally set up by Final Fantasy director Hajime Tabata to do AAA games specifically. Okay. Square Enix subsequently altered its strategy for Luminous, which incurred a $33 million extraordinary loss in the recent financial reports. Now, he apparently left. Sony recently confirmed that it was working on the next generation hardware, and rumors point to Microsoft working on 2 variants of the next Xbox. 2 variants. Now, this is interesting to me. Blah, blah, blah. Hold on, I think I skipped a section there. Oh, yeah, last week, Tabata, quit Luminous and Square Enix as a whole, leading to the cancellation of 3 in-development DLC packs. Okay, yeah. So that's what I skipped out. So basically he left and he was working on a AAA title for the PS5. However, this is where it gets interesting for me about the Xbox. 2 variants of the next Xbox. Now, if you're a PlayStation fan or a gamer or whatever, this is my advice here at this point. Buy the PlayStation 5 in 2020. That should be your key #1 priority, right? So you have a PlayStation 5. Skip the Xbox and wait a year and a bit, and I bet you they have the second Xbox out with more powerful updated, you know what I mean, when it comes to the Xbox One X, etc. That's what I think they're doing. They're trying to do it like a PC, and there is a market for it, because if people got money to spend £400, £500, £600, they will go and spend it on the next Xbox to get the updated hardware. So if you're gonna, but that's kind of like it's smart but annoying for us gamers. So for example, if you've got the PlayStation 5, there's only going to be one of those, and then if you kind of wait for the Xbox because you ain't got the money, then get the second Xbox that comes out, which is no doubt going to be more powerful, or at least I can only assume. I don't think they're gonna, if they release 2 Xboxes at the same time, and they say this one's got 500 gigabyte and this one's got 1 terabyte, that's really the only difference. I don't really, so it might be a lower end and a high end model, and I don't really like the idea of that. I would prefer, if you're going to do what you're going to do, put one out, wait a year and a bit, and then release the next one where you can say this is upgraded graphics, blah blah blah, and then do it that way. And then that way, I can just readjust and go, okay, now I'll get the next Xbox or whatever, and I'll get the better one. Because right now I've got the Xbox One S, and it's like, you know, the X is out, I know it is, but I'm kind of ignoring it, and because I've already got an Xbox, so I don't need to upgrade. But it's kind of frustrating. I did get the PS4 Pro because my current PS4, the original one, was going to break, so I bought the PS4 Pro anyway, just because it was going to break. But anyway, so yeah, so a bit of topic there on the Xbox and PlayStation skipping E3. Let me know. I'll be running a poll, by the way, after this. After this gets released, about, you know, whatever, all these topics, to be honest with you. I'll try to do 1 or 2 polls at least on all the subjects. The next story I've got is relating to Spyro. Now this is interesting. Spyro. Now I've made mistakes as well, or 1 or 2 mistakes. My most notable what I can remember is the Black Ops, where I jumped into Black Ops and it was the game mode, the Battle Royale mode, and I compared it to Fortnite, and I was just pissed off because the game was good, but I didn't like the mode. I wanted Team Deathmatch or something, and I kind of was conflicted, and I was like just ranting about it and just getting pissy, and loads of people called me on it, and I understand that. So we all make mistakes. However, this seems to happen a lot with game journalists and stuff like that. Twitter rips into a journalist for comparing the new Spyro to Dark Souls. Spyro Reignited Trilogy launched yesterday, and people are loving the HD trip down nostalgia lane, or at least most people are. Twitter is laying into a journalist at Eurogamer for her review of the game, in which she compares the trilogy to notoriously difficult Dark Souls. In the review, which you can read here, I'm not going to go into it, reporter Emma Kent writes of one of the game's boss fights, the breakneck shift in difficulty, meanwhile, felt like I'd suddenly been dropped into Dark Souls in the middle of a game of tiddlywinks. So she felt the game was going easy or good, and then all of a sudden she stumbled across this really tough difficulty. Of course, this is 2018, and this was a statement the internet just couldn't cope with Twitter observably not impressed with her tweet. And then one player tweeted, imagine thinking the Spyro games are Dark Souls hard. What else we got here? People saying that Spyro is hard like Dark Souls makes me want to vomit. Blah, blah, blah. We aren't surprised that some game reviewers are comparing the Spyro Ignite trilogy to Dark Souls. Seriously, is that their go to when something is hard? So saying it's hard and they're comparing it to Dark Souls. Dark Souls was hard and I didn't really enjoy the game. I played it for like 2 hours, 3 hours, and I just found it boring and kind of frustrating. But it weren't my type of game, and I never got into that type of game, so it was totally new to me. So yeah, that's going to be one of this week's polls. Is old school games tougher than today's games? And to be honest with you, as someone who's played all throughout the 90s and 2000s and, you know, the PlayStation 1 till now, I've got to say the older games were harder. I feel that a lot of games today is casualed up, especially if you compare the old Hitman games, Hitman 1, 2, 3 or whatever, to the recent Hitman games where they hold your hand telling you how to do everything and ways to kill people. They do hold your hand. It is casualed up for a lot of people. And that is just the way it is. My recent, and you'll see this, my recent experience of this was not Dark Souls, sorry, God of War 3. God of War 3, old school game. Oh, not that old school, but still oldish. And it's just tough to me. I found it hard. I spent ages on certain parts where it wore me down, just drove me nuts. Just frustrating as hell. I did edit some of that stuff out, and you'll see that playthrough coming up in the near future. I'm hoping anyway. In about 3 weeks, you'll see that after I've completed FIFA 19 and stuff. So yeah, that's going to be one poll. Are older games harder than their counterparts today? And I personally, my view is yes, they were harder. They didn't hold your hand. And you had to discover a lot for yourself, and things were just tough. But as gamers, we pushed through, we got on, and we dealt with it. And I think this article goes on to say as well that it's just the way it is. Like they're doing it for their core audience, the older gamers like us who already played through this. So when it comes to a new generation of people doing it, it's making it harder because they're not used to it. It says here, or maybe game devs are working on reboots and remakes are amping up the difficulty level, knowing their target market are those who want to play nostalgical hit from the PlayStation 1 games like Spyro, and now fully fledged adults who need some media content in their games. Blah, blah, blah. And basically it's got here, what do you think? Have games gotten easier over the years, or have remasters and remakes been designed to be more difficult so they appeal to their now grown-up audiences? Possibly. I mean, they want that traditional feel. When you put something on easy, you really do feel it's easy. You know, I went back and played a game, I think it was God of War 3 the other day on easy just to see how it was, and it was just so easy. Like, you couldn't get the proper feel for it. It was garbage. It was so easy that it felt like I didn't get the full experience of the game, and it was bullshit, and I didn't enjoy it at all. And I was like, fuck it, and I turned it off, you know what I mean? It was just garbage. So that, I do believe you have to have it on a certain difficulty to at least experience the game for what it is. If you want to go ultra and you love hard mode, then by all means, but yeah, like easy mode was just, ugh. So that'd be one of the polls in this week's community tab. Sorry. The last story I have is an interesting one. A strange one, sorry, rather. It's got here, the U.S. Army turns to esports as it fails to meet its recruitment targets. They were trying to get 76,000 people and they missed the target by 6,000. Like, wow. U.S. Army is getting into the world of esports after failing to meet its recruitment targets for the first time in more than 10 years. The hope is that the move to esports will help the Army connect with young people after falling short of its 76,500 target by 6,500 recruits. Reports Stars and Stripes, the U.S. Army is also putting together a functional fitness team to compete in CrossFit events that will serve the same purpose. Now that's kind of a good idea. If you go into CrossFit, because a lot of fit people are interested in it, you connect with those people, there's a couple of them that are really into fitness, might actually do well in the Army, might consider it a career in there as their next logical step to use their fitness and everything else. If they, I mean, that doesn't mean it's guaranteed, but it's a high chance that they will, and I think that's a good marketplace. A Tekken team tournament has already been scheduled, and going by the titles listed on the online application form, there are plans to form teams on Fortnite, PUBG, Overwatch, FIFA, League of Legends, Call of Duty, Madden, NBA 2K. Eligible applicants include active duty troops, reservists and veteran members of esports teams will become part of the Army's marketing and engagement team. There will be in support support roles to help young people see soldiers in a different light and understand the many different roles people can have in the Army, and help the Army address its growing disconnect with society, said Army Recruiting Commander spokesperson Kelly Bland. The first event has already been scheduled for December. A second tournament will see Victor head to PAX South next year and represent the Army. Staff Sergeant Aston Muse elaborated on the future plans in a Facebook video that including building a two 18-wheeler trailer that will visit college campuses, giving college esports teams the chance to hop in and play against the Army team at Fort Knox. Wow, now that is certainly an interesting development right there, isn't it? The Army are reaching out to gamers, and also, I'm going to throw it out there, college campuses. How should I put this? When you're talking to gamers, gamers play on Call of Duty and kill people, but I don't think they have a real, if they're stupid enough to say, yeah, I want to go and kill people for real, then by all means, you know, I just don't see that happening. Gamers are some of the most laziest people ever and just want to sit there and playing a game. I don't think they're going to be interested in getting suited and booted, grabbing a gun and rolling around in mud. I mean, it's an idea, but I don't think it's a very successful idea. The kind of people you're targeting, they have targeted gamers before. In actual fact, they were using gamers to decipher strategies, army strategies. So they give them a game, and they said, right, we want you to do something here. Get around these people and kill these people, whatever. How would you go about doing it? And the gamers was very successful because they were analyzing the situation and they were reading into it and they were doing X, Y, and Z to solve a problem and being successful at it. So they do use gamers for that as well. Also, if you look at drones and stuff like that, and the way or the bombs that go over, the drones that are bombing X, Y, and Z people, they're actually using Xbox joypads. So they've really simplified it up. So you might, you know, think, oh, gamers, they're using gamers like to accustomed to it. You know what I mean? It's kind of funny that way. But I don't know if there's going to be a lot of gamers who are interested in joining the Army. I know there are plenty of roles they could do and have a career in there. I'm not even doubting that. I really ain't. It doesn't have to be a combat role. It could be any role. But that's just one aspect of them going after gamers. I just find it funny, but okay, all right, whatever, that's your choice. The second part of this is, okay, you can play against Army people. I mean, at the end of the day, a soldier's a soldier, and he's trained to do X, Y, and Z, what his country tells him to do. But yes, he is a human, and they play games, and they have relationships like anybody else, blah, blah, blah. But I will say, how should I put this? Going around college campuses, I mean, if you go on the internet, you should see the kind of rhetoric that the college campuses put out there. I mean, really, and the professors are all self-loathing, can't stand America, don't like America, believe it's all racist and everything else, not very patriotic at all. There might be there's a few people that are, yeah, there's no doubt, but the vocal, loudmouth, annoying ones are the ones that hate America most often, I'll be honest with you. And all you've got to do is go on YouTube and just type it in, and you'll see, you know, SJW types hating on America. So I don't think you're going to get that big of a warm reception. Maybe if you show up all in your gear and have a load of guns with you, maybe they fucking think differently. Because in reality, the Army's in the real world, tough, strong, doing X, Y, and Z. And these fuckers are after, like, oh my god, the Army's here, I need a fucking safe space. You know what I mean? Like, oh, I mean, maybe they won't have guns with them, but you see what I'm saying? It's going to be, you're bringing something that's probably loathed and detested politically by these people, young people who don't know fuck all. You know, and then you bring the Army in, they're going to be like, it's going to be a clash of two completely odd cultures. You'll get a few people into it, 100%, yes. But whatever, I just say good luck to the US Army on that, because the young people, the way they're taught and the rhetoric they're taught about their own country and what they believe, is nothing comparison back into the 80s or 90s. It really isn't. It's totally different now. A a lot of people hate in their own country. I see it, and I watch I watch a lot of people on YouTube who highlight it, and it's ridiculous. So good luck with that, U.S. Army, and your recruitment drive. Only short 6,500. That's not bad out of 76,000 people you're trying to hire. As for the gamers, yes, there's careers out there. I don't know how fit these people are going to be. I don't know. But hey, that's just my opinion. Who knows? Anyway, guys, I hope you guys enjoyed this video. Please like, share, comment, and subscribe. Follow me on Facebook, Instagram, Twitter. You can buy a t-shirt. Links down in the description below. Donate to me via PayPal if you're interested in doing that, to sponsor a food review, get your name shouted out, whatever it may be, or even a playthrough of a particular game you want me to play. Just donate me the money, I'll go buy it, and then I'll find the cheapest place to buy it, by the way, whether it be Amazon or downloading it, and then I will play it, or whatever. That's up to you. Anyway, guys, 20 minutes this video, not too bad. I hope I got all the information out there to you and you paid attention. I know it can drag on a little bit. Some people have that problem paying attention, but I've tried to go through it as much as I can, give you the facts and my opinion. Anyway, guys, I will see you next time. Thanks so much for watching. Oh, and FIFA 19 continues next week, and there will be a food review out.